Hey crafty babes, it's Andrea and I am excited to show you my second traveler's notebook. I am almost to the end of this one again, and I really thought that I was going to be able to share it a little earlier, but I've got some good light and I figure we could go through it. This notebook is from Felicity Jane. It is one of their several notebooks with really cute covers, and it's got rounded corners, a really nice cover. It also has really smooth paper. It's very nice, doesn't smear, it's not glossy, but it's nice and smooth, really great texture. So this particular album, I don't have an opening page, but it is something that I will do when I have a page to do that's just a single page. The first page in here I shared on Instagram. It's kind of an overall look at what my day looks like right now. I used all kinds of goodies, but the best part about this was using the time stamper from Ali Edwards, and it's one of my most used stamps, and I thought it was a really fun idea to just kind of time stamp the things that go on in the day. And I also had this card from Simple Stories, and so I really liked the floral on it. I liked all the colors. It was really perfect, so I just fussy cut around it and placed it right here in the corner. This page, I used my very first kit from Felicity Jane. This is from Sophie, and I documented this really sweet encounter I had with a fan who was actually the sister of a work friend of mine, and I didn't know that she knew who I was, and neither did her sister, but she showed her sister a YouTube video of mine and said, you have to watch this girl. She's so cute and she has all these great things, and she just got into bullet journaling herself, and the sister, who's my friend, said, oh my gosh, I know her. And they actually work at the same company, and this is where I met her, was at a company event that we were both at. We were all three at, actually, and it was a really sweet surprise. I had no idea that, she even knew who I was, and so I journaled about it here and a little bit more on the other side, and thought that was really just a super fun way to document that. This is a really fun story that I wanted to make sure I documented. It's about Charlie, our dog, and she really loves to snuggle, and I really love that she loves to snuggle. But during this particular week, there had been a lot of disruption in our schedule at home. So Matt was kind of traveling a lot, and I was home at different times, and I was kind of in and out a lot more with picking up the boys, and our schedules were off, and so her schedule was really off. And it was sort of funny, about halfway through the week I started realizing that she wouldn't really relax a lot. She does have a lot of separation anxiety because she's so used to us being home, and we're very much routine people. But she would follow me really closely around the house once I would get home, and for quite a while afterwards. And it turns out that she wanted to make sure I wasn't leaving again, so she really would not relax until I took my shoes off. And sometimes I wouldn't take my shoes off right away because I'd be still needing to go somewhere, or I'd just forget because I just got home and was kind of walking around doing whatever I needed to do. But she would not relax until I took my shoes off, and then she would totally chill out. And then this is just a photo of us relaxing. It's kind of what our evenings look like, is me being on the chair and her being in my lap. So just something I wanted to document. I used a bunch of strips of paper from lots of different places, a little bit of the Wonder Collection, a little bit of Ellie Studio, and just had a lot of fun with this layout. This one here is using the Reset Girl and her Lister's Got a List kit called Crafted. And Alyssa, Duncan, and I did a really fun unboxing together of this kit, and I will link that below too because I think it's really super fun. We went through it together over FaceTime because we both bought the kit and opened it together, even though we're states away. And this is a really cute picture that my mom has, given to me in my box of many photos, and it was my very first sewing machine. And I really loved that, sewing was such a big part of my childhood and the way that my mom and I connected. And, not that it was the only way, but just one of the ways that I remember most was always being crafty together. And we would sew clothes for my Barbies, and she would sew clothes for myself, and she made herself clothes. And she just had always been so good with the sewing machine and taught me how to do it, and just always loved those times together. And so super happy that I had this photo, and I used some purple hearts from Ellie Studio because the sewing machine was purple, and thought that I could pull those colors in. This card here was actually, the buttons were actually, on the card, but I didn't want to cover them up. And then I also didn't want to just cut all of this extra stuff off of the photo because I really like the nostalgia of that paper and this little image that was on a gift of mine. So I used my X-Acto knife and trimmed around each button so that I can just slide the photo behind it while still having the card as the border. It's a trick that I use sometimes when I don't want to cover up the little embellishments in the corner. Here's another layout using some really fun stuff from the Crafted kit by the Reset Girl. It was National Handwriting Day on January 23rd, and I just wrote this little piece down on a scrap piece of paper, and I really wanted to talk about the importance of your own handwriting. I do tend to mainly use my own handwriting in my memory keeping, and I know a lot of people either don't like their handwriting or, they find it easier to type, and that is perfectly fine. For me, it just speaks more than words, and I love penmanship, and I love the nostalgia of looking back and seeing handwriting from my parents or my grandma and my grandparents. It speaks about who they were, and I think it's really special. So I made this layout with a 3x8 insert from the Reset Girl, and then trimmed a little extra piece over here from Felicity Jane. I used a couple of stamps from Ellie Studio and a puffy heart from Ellie Studio as well. Some washi tape to just put everything down, and I did some generation stamping there for the record, and that stamp is from Ellie Studio. And I thought it would be really fun to just handwrite my own name here at the bottom of this little note section. And that's about it for this layout. This is one that I did for my very first blog post for Felicity Jane. I had so much fun working with the London kit. The colors are gorgeous. I had this quote saved for a little while, and the colors were so perfect. I thought it would be a great way to document my Briggs Myers personality letters. I don't really know what you call it. Is that my personality type? I guess so. I'm an ISTJ. What I did was I found a couple of statements from the personality details and found the ones that were most related to, me not liking to take orders or suggestions from people. So just one little piece of my personality, and really had fun with all the colors and stamps and goodies from this kit. Here's another layout that I did for Felicity Jane. This is a little bit more experimental with the stamping. I actually created a border underneath this 3x4 card that I cut out of some pattern paper, just so that little different parts of the stamp could stick out beyond the card. I thought that was a really fun idea. And then of course, I always love to stamp right directly on top of photos. That's always kind of something fun that I like to do. And the way that this photo was composed actually gave a lot of white space in order to do that. So I love taking advantage of those empty spaces. Here's the layout that I created to document the end of the Packers season. It was such a rough game when they played the Falcons and really were not showing signs of being the Packers. And this image here was something that they posted on Instagram. So I just grabbed the image, I just screenshot it and then printed it with my normal photos. And then I just had some random green things and football-ish things hanging around that were kind of perfect. This is actually it actually says baseball inside of here, but when you just have some of the things sticking out, you can't really tell that it's not for football. But, and then also I had this old Pantone card from Studio Calico when they came out with all of their stamp colors and ink colors. And this one says Going Green, and I thought it was just so perfect. It's just a nice light version of this green, and thought it would be good to just tuck a few things underneath this little football card from the Project Life Sports Kit. Here is a layout that's kind of funny. It's about It's Its, and if you've never had an It's It, it is basically an ice cream sandwich, but the sandwich part is oatmeal cookie and then dipped in this really thin layer of chocolate, and it is like the best thing ever. And we used to eat these in high school. They would sell them and we'd eat them after lunch, and it was just, actually, you know what, that wasn't high school, that was middle school. Yeah, anyway, super fun treat. And so the mint was my favorite, but I could not even believe how perfect it was that all the minty kind of green colors from the London kit from Felicity Jane worked so perfectly with the mint color of the ice cream and the packaging. So I used a piece of brown paper with these little plus signs. This is from the Reset Girl, and just used it to layer so that I can bounce some of this brown off of the photo here. And then this True Love wood piece is from Ellie's Studio, and I just did some layering and with this card from Felicity Jane and another couple of pieces from Felicity Jane. It's kind of like everything's so gorgeous from Felicity Jane, I'm just going to continue using them. This is a layout that I did using the Adored kit from the Reset Girl. Her February Lister's Got a List kit is gorgeous, and I remembered having these two photos here that have this blue color and this melon color, and it just was a perfect color combination to go with a couple of these cards. And so I kind of combined like the selfie and the Thursday 3 and documented just loving your selfie. And that's what her kit is really all about, is just feeling pretty and adoring everything about you. And I just loved the message behind it, and also the colors are amazing. So I did this little hybrid pocket, which you may have seen one of my previous Traveler's Notebook videos, and I really like the option to be able to have like kind of an extra page in here. And so I just trimmed a 3x4 page protector and trimmed a little bit off the top because it's just a little too tall for the size of the notebook, and slipped in a couple of different cards and adhered it down with some washi. And then on the other side here, I'll probably just adhere it on the other side with different washi that matches, and that'll be just kind of like a cool extra little page. I love still being able to use pockets in this notebook. It's super fun. And the final one here is another layout using the Reset Girl Adored kit, and all the really fun Planner Honey stickers that come in that kit were perfect to use for this quote that I had. And I posted this on Instagram before, and just everybody could relate. And so I didn't like the way that the quote printed out. It cut off a part of the text. So I just took one of her journaling cards and ran it through my typewriter and retyped it. And it says, when I try an outfit on and it doesn't make me look good, I just throw it on the floor. Like, no, you don't deserve to be hung up. Sit there and think about what you've done. And I think we can really all relate to that. Not feeling good when you try on an outfit. Maybe you have to try on 3 outfits, but I really just love that the honeys are all like gorgeous and what we would all love to look like. So I thought it would be a really good combination to use all that, and just kept it really simple, lots of open white space, made it really super clean, and pulled in a bunch of fun colors. So I only have 6 pages left to fill up this Traveler's Notebook, and I will definitely invite you back when I'm finished with it, and we'll go through the end of it. I hope you guys are doing really well. Thanks so much for watching, and let me know if you have questions. Talk to you guys soon. Bye!